What is up, everybody? Wanted to film a little quick update video for you guys because been doing some stuff here and there and haven't been filming much. So I really don't have anything else to film at the moment because I'm waiting on parts for the car. So let's hop into it. Alright, so as you just saw, we put a wing on the car. It's an eBay wing, so the fitment is like a little iffy with it, but looks sick. It's like the, I guess it's like an OEM kooky wing, which we're eventually gonna do the front end swap, but don't tell anyone yet. That's down the road, way down the road. Actually, what I did with this wing, I was actually originally painting it black, and then I kept fucking up the paint. So the last thing I was gonna do was I was gonna plasti dip it. So I bought the plasti dip, and while I was at the store, I actually saw this other paint color. So I was like, let me try this. This is black stainless steel. It's Rust-Oleum, right? Pretty close to the paint color. We actually look at the wing. It's not ridiculously far off. I'll get some different angles for you. I mean, depending on the angle, it's obviously gonna be a little bit more off than the rest. Like right now, it's like really dark. I mean, I guess that's kind of like the metallic in it. But if you look at my front bumper, the front bumper is already a different color. Front bumper was like, I guess resprayed, or they ran out of paint when they were spraying the car and they mixed that one up wrong. Whatever it is, but it's gonna work for now. I don't know what I'm gonna do paint-wise for this car because it definitely needs a respray at some point. I don't think I'm gonna be able to wrap it. My skills aren't really there at this point right now. But we might wind up just like plasti dipping the whole thing. So we'll see what I wind up doing with that. Next thing. Next thing I want to talk about here is the rear fenders. Rolled them and pulled them. If you take a closer look at them, I mean, you probably saw them in the other thing, but didn't come out the greatest. It's a little bacony. And then on both sides is actually like, I think you can see right there, dented in a little bit right there. But for right now it works because I was able to lower the car more. It's not at monster truck height in the rear anymore. So, look better. Who doesn't like to be lower? We're gonna do over fenders, so we don't care. We don't give a shit that these are a little bacony. And even look on this side too. I think this side it came out better. But you can still see this like dented it in over there. And a little bit right there. But like I said, don't care because over fenders is just gonna force me to do the over fenders sooner than later. So we like that. Little update with the coilovers, by the way. The rears are as you see how the car's sitting right now, sitting pretty aggressive. I don't want much more tuck than that because the flex pipe on my exhaust sits a little low. Let's see if we can see it. The flex pipe is right there. I don't know if you're able to see it, but that's sitting really low. So if I go much lower with the car, I'm just gonna scrape the ever living shit out of that. So I don't want to do that. I want some sort of exhaust still, like going out the back of the car instead of in the car, because we kind of just get like air through like randomness in the center console. So if I get like air, like just hot air off like the transmission and not hot exhaust fumes in the car, that's like a good thing. My front coils the front coils on the car, they seem to be seized on both sides. Luckily it's not like ridiculously high in the front to piss me off a lot, but I mean, gotta live with it for now, because I don't feel like buying new coils when there's plenty of other stuff that I kinda, not that I need, but like a lot of other stuff that are a lot higher on my list of stuff to get for the car. So moving on. Those are the coil packs for the car. Those sit, let me pop the hood for you actually, hold on. Alright, so those were the coil packs for the car, and as you saw, they looked like rusted shit. Those sit right under that cover, this dark gray cover, and that's what sends the ignition to the spark plugs. So I already wanted to change the spark plugs, so I had those ready to go, and then when I took the coil packs off, they looked like shit, and there was actually only one screw holding them in when it's supposed to be 4. So no bueno. I upgraded these coils, which these are supposed to be like some of the really good ones. So I got these, so I just had to buy them once. Split fire. Those are the coil packs for the rb25 didnt motor. Series 1. I don't know if the Series 2 is a different, but not the Neo. If you go on some websites, you might see one that says they're the coil packs for rb25, and you might order them, and then you get them, and it turns out they're the wrong ones. Don't be like me. Actually email the company beforehand, so you don't have to spend money to return it, and then get told that you needed a different one, and then they email you back and telling you it's another different one than the one they originally told you, because they didn't even know themselves. But email the company, talk with them, and find out which ones you need, because they're going to be the experts for you. A lot better than just reading on a website and hoping that the title of the product is what you're actually getting. I know, stupid, right? Alright, so another thing we got for the car that I don't think I filmed. If you're gonna be able to read that. It's a AEM water temp gauge, because don't think it works on the cluster. Now the cluster works, but why not get an exact reading instead of trusting a 22-year-old cluster that the tachometer and the speedometer don't even work, so why would you trust the temperature gauge? Whatever. We got an AEM one. Actually fills out the third pod in the triple gauge. I got the air fuel is down here, boost gauge, and water temp. Water temp, what you gotta do, you gotta actually get one of these. What you gotta do is you gotta get one of these adapter things. What you gotta do is just take your top hose from your radiator. Obviously you wanna drain the radiator a little bit, because when you open that, it's gonna spill all over the place. But take the top hose, basically just cut out a section, stuff this in, then your little sensor from the gauge screws into that, wire up your gauge, and you're all good. So so those are all the things that I've done to the car that I may have forgotten to film. Not may have, I did forget to film. Those are all things I did to the car that didn't get filmed. I'm waiting on a couple suspension parts for the rear. I got upper control arms, camber arms, and I believe toe arms. I'm waiting on those, gonna install those, then I'm gonna go get an alignment. Should be set. So, one thing I wanna do with this wing that I told you it was shitty fitment. It's this big ass gap here. If you look in the right spot, you can kind of see light through it. Same on this side, and I mean, the bottom's pretty aight, but what I would like to do, I wanna find like a sheet of like rubber, maybe like, I don't know, like an 1/8 inch thick, cut it kind of to size and put it in between, so then it should clean this up and make it look a lot like neater of an install. But I mean, that's what you get with like the eBay Chinese quality, but looks good. All right, so I want to thank you for joining me today on this quick update video. I should have more actual driving around footage when that gets a little nicer out, because it's very wet outside. Oh, I got new tires too, but these tires, I don't think they do wet roads very very well. So instead of winding up in the ditch or looking like a Mustang video, it's gonna stay in the garage when it's raining, especially the trunk leaks a little bit. Last time I washed the car, there was like a puddle of water in the trunk. So it's raining, it's been shitty, it's like nasty weather, so we'll get some more driving footage coming up. And I wanna thank you guys for joining me. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.